Member for Dawson.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, it's a known fact that everybody in Australia is worse off under the Albanese Labor Government, and they're particularly in the regions are a lot worse off. And for those opposite, a lot of probably don't even know where the regions are. They're the big bits that are outside the city. That's where the food and fibre comes from. It doesn't come from the supermarket. It doesn't come from Coles or Woolworths. That's where your fruit and veggies come from. It's where your milk comes from. It's where your meat comes from. All out there in the regions, not just out of the big supermarkets. And it's also where all the minerals come from. It's where the coal comes from, one of our biggest exporters. Our iron ore, the biggest exporter in the country, comes from. Our gas. That's why all we ask in rural and regional Australia is to get a little bit of money from the government back to look after rural and regional Australia. And what about this week? We've just had the announcement, the closing down of the sheep trade. The closing down of the sheep trade is a flocking insult. It shows that the Albanese Labor Government has no idea what the flock is going on. We're going to see fourth.
You're skating pretty close to the water there, and I'm listening. If you intend to be unparliamentary, I will absolutely pull you up.
Thank you for your guidance, Deputy Speaker. The flock is a group of sheep, and that's what I'm trying to educate those opposite.
I think we all know where you were going, Member for Dawson. Just keep it out of here.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I'll take your guidance. I appreciate your guidance. We're going to see fourth, fifth and sixth generations of farmers have to walk off their land. They're going out of business. But this whole decision hasn't been made on science, it's been made on political science. It's been made by those opposite to make sure that they keep their Greens coalition safe and make sure that they can look after their inner city voters. But the neglect continues. Look at the fishing industry, the ban of the gill nets. That was by those opposite and supposed to save the Great Barrier Reef. A gill net doesn't go within 50 miles of the Great Barrier Reef, but it's killing our fishing industry, totally killing our fishing industry. And not only our fishing industry, but all the chandleries, the ice makers, the net builders, the people who do the floats, the anchors, the boat builders. The flow-on effects through rural and regional Australia is absolutely enormous. And the latest brainwave, the family car and ute tax, that was guaranteed. The debate was guaranteed. You didn't even want to hear from us. You didn't even want to hear from our people. Most people in my area drive a four-wheel drive. They have a Land Cruiser, a ute, a Ford Ranger, something like that. It's what we actually need. But no, those opposite want to steer everyone into electric vehicle. Well, listen to this. The electric vehicles can't carry the weight, they can't tow the load, and they can't cover the distance. They're just not practical for rural and regional Australia. So again, this is just another attack on the people out in rural and regional Australia. You're taxing them out of existence. And what about for the family? What about the utes for our tradies? Tradies are flat out affording a ute now. So when they have to pay this extra money for the ute, they're going to have to put that on the bill. And once again, those opposite are driving up our cost of living. And the Bruce Highway, have a look at the Bruce Highway in my electorate. It's how farmers get their product to market and the supplies up from the city. There's no money for the Bruce Highway. There's no money for the Bruce Highway. There was $500 million in the coalition put in, but nothing there. And this reckless race to renewables that Labor seems to be prosecuting at every opportunity is really hurting rural and regional Australia. You're taking out all the good quality agricultural land and putting solar panels there, wiping out tops of hills, native vegetation, koala habitats, so you could put swindle factories in. The big fans that only work about 20% of the time anyway. They don't work when the wind is too short and they can't work when there's too much. This is really, really bad. It's about time Labor stepped up and started to look after rural and regional Australia.
Member for McEwen.
Authorised by Andrew Wilcox, LNP Mackay.